Explain why people have rejected the left. Well, what's this here?
I will answer to this.
Okay.
Even though what you're asking me is the hardest thing in the world to do, I'll still try. But I want the concession and promise from you that after I'm done making my attempt, you're going to make yours. And how would you convert me to your worldview? Is that a deal?
Okay,
Absolutely.
let's listen to it.
Got to go right in the mic. Otherwise, I can't hear you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So here would be my pitch. My pitch would be that the society that you have created for us is fucked, and people hate it. They fucking hate it.
Yep.
And
True.
that's why you got Donald Trump. You got Donald Trump because people hate the fucking society that you feminists have made for them. And here's why.
It's because guys don't like being told what to do. That's the big reason. Fundamentally, if you ever have a rule system and a way of doing things that revolves around telling other people what to do, that's the issue. It's that women come into men's spaces, change them, and then make it mandatory that men's spaces accommodate them while simultaneously never doing any of that themselves. They want to retain their privileges while also taking advantage of the privileges that men have. So they want things to be equal, but not really equal because they want to maintain the privileges that women have innately in society, right? And so don't tell me what to do, and I won't tell you where to go. Yeah, exactly, right? And so that's not just me. I don't like being told what to do. Yeah, sure, right? It's like the same as like, it's like you can't say these words. You can't talk like this. You can't be aggressive. You can't like this content. You can't talk this way about, like some attractive girl, even though it's not even about her directly. It's like all of these rules that these people have created. Why would somebody want to live in a world where you're just getting henpecked to death for just trying to relax with your friends? Why would you want to do that?
I hate it because all the things that you consider to be freedom aren't freedoms at all. They're just taking away people's freedoms under the guise of freedom. For instance, if I asked you about gun control, I'm guessing that you would want gun control, right? Stricter gun control?
Mildly stricter in the sense that I think people with like significant mental health issues documented should probably not be allowed to have guns.
Curtailing gun control. Okay,
I agree with her, honestly. I think that they should do more to make sure crazy people don't get guns. Honestly, in my opinion, I even go farther. If they're crazy, they shouldn't be in society to begin with. Lock them up in a padded room. Yeah, put them in a padded room. Like, what are we talking about? Should they have a gun or not? Let's get on my level. Should they be in society or not? Put them in a box. If you can't trust somebody to have a gun because they might go out on a shooting rampage, why the fuck are they allowed to drive a car? Make asylums great again. Beautiful. You love to see it.
Freedom on the Second Amendment. On the First Amendment, during C-19, did you think that the government, it was appropriate for them to go in and remove what they considered misinformation for the good of the public?
Misinformation.
Yeah.
I don't have a solid opinion on that one.
Well, earlier you did, and it seemed like
you said removing misinformation, like going through and
yeah, they worked with tech companies to remove what they considered misinformation.
Well, that's not what we talked about earlier.
That's what they did.
It's different.
I know, it's not different.
It's different than we were talking about shutdowns, were we not?
Yeah, but the part of the lockdowns was that they were depersoning people because of what they considered to be misinformation.
That's
the government
true.
was
That's
working
what
with the
happened.
technocracy in order to do that for the
This
good
was a huge problem.
of all people. And it's like, I guarantee you at the time, if I go back and look at whatever content you were making, if you were making content at that time, I don't know. But I can promise that whatever social media you had, you were probably very much in the we need to get rid of misinformation camp.
I don't really blame people for being in that camp personally, because if you weren't in that camp, you could get banned just for not agreeing with them. Like, I saw people, like, for example, remember whenever Nick Merckx said that he didn't like the fact that they were trying to teach kids about gay stuff in elementary school, and then he got taken out of, like, Call of Duty's, like, program, and all of these other creators started attacking him, and they tried to cancel this guy however much as possible, right? And so, like, yes, blame them. Well, I don't blame people because I don't hold people to a high standard of critically thinking. I think that most people are fundamentally herd animals, and they're just going to give whatever opinion is going to be the most valid or useful at the very moment in time that they're talking about it, right? That's it.
You know, because all of you guys were. And so it's like under the First Amendment, it seems like, the feminist and the progressive movement, which is basically a part of the feminist movement, does what it can do to curtail freedom there too. And it doesn't seem like you really want there to be much personal freedom, even if people say, look, I just want to live among a people group that I'm familiar with and I have a preference for and an attraction to. You're like, no, that's unacceptable. And you're a bad person for even wanting to do that. And there should be legislation that stops that. And there should be legislation which stops you from having your preferences for who you hire and fire and things like that. It's just...
I'm a fan of that, actually. I think that hiring and firing people for racial reasons can be a really big problem. I think it will be a huge problem instantaneously. And the real issue is that I think that they do it now, but the problem really is the double standard. It's that, for example, you can have these like benefits for, hiring a minority group, but if somebody does this for a person that's white, well, now it's a big problem. So I think that the idea of removing race-based hiring is good, but when it's applied asymmetrically, it's not a rule anymore, it's a weapon. That's it. Big problem in Canada with Indian immigrants? Yeah, if people are hiring for like some sort of nepotism reason, then yeah, it's a huge issue, absolutely.
I guess my biggest pitch to you would just be this. Like, it's really funny for me that the Christian nationalists get this rep that we're like fascist, dictatorial crazies who want to take away freedoms. And yet, every single time I talk to one of you feminists or I talk to one of you progressives, and it's basically synonymous at this point. I mean, there's no progressives really who aren't feminists. And there's no feminists really who aren't progressive.
That's true.
It just seems to me like the totalitarian nature of everything that I've seen has come from you guys. Like the C-19 lockdowns, the COVID passports, the wear your papers, that was you guys. The remove all of the information because the government doesn't like it from private websites and put pressure on them to do it, that was you guys.
This is what I always said, is that these people, I say this every day, right? Is that these people don't want to not have a king. They want to be the king. They don't want to get rid of the police. They want to be the police. They don't want to, get rid of social media. They want to control social media. It's again, they don't really, it's not that they're not against authoritarianism. They're against another brand of authoritarianism that isn't their own. Like, that's really what's going on.
The whole idea of you need to wear your state-sponsored piece of clothing, the mask, that came from you guys. It's like all of the fascist dystopian things that I can imagine that Orwell was warning about and things like that. That doesn't come from us. That always seems to come from you guys. The people who are the fascist hunters seem to be the very worst at real freedom.
Here by any chance?
Well, hang on. Let me finish my pitch.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Me questions about it, right? So, if you wanted me to give you the most convincing argument that I possibly can, it would just be this: that everything we talk about is actually you curtailing freedom, not me. And everything that we end up ultimately discussing seems to come down to the fact that you just want to kind of engage in degenerate behaviors. And that's the only freedom you seem to care about, the freedom to promiscuously have sex and then have an abortion to take care of that if you need to, even if it's the case that by removing...
I think you don't want the kid, just get rid of it. You call it murder, I say, okay, sure, do it.
That there would be less unwanted babies born.
I mean, if you know my worldview of like 50 other things, you realize that I don't really place a high value on a lot of people's lives. I don't. Like, I'm talking about putting everybody in jail. Like, really, is this truly a shocking viewpoint for me to have when I'm totally in support of bombing any of the boats, bringing over the stuff? I was in support of bombing Iran. I was in support of putting people in jail categorically for being crazy. Inside of my worldview with things, I'm in support of, somebody throws a brick at the cop shoots them, I think W. I don't care. Like, this is actually very consistent with all of my other beliefs.
Still think that we need to have that because people just need to be able to fuck if they want and be promiscuous if they want and have STDs if they want. It's like It always seems like the freedom that you guys advocate for is only a freedom towards degeneracy.
Well, it's a self-referential. They just want to do what they want to do. That's it.
And never actually about freedoms that are really intrinsic to the human experience.
You're forgetting red stupid? Yeah, basically.
And even more than that, I would just point this last thing out, which is, you know, if you had a society where it was really full of more people like me, right? It was full of people who did take their religion seriously, and they took their family dynamic seriously. And they took the things that they were doing seriously in regards to morality and ethics and how to treat people, and not sacrificing the whole for the small percentage of fucking, you know, LGBTQ people and this and that. How would the world really be a worse place? Objectively, how would the world that you live in really be worse?
I could easily come up with tons of reasons why having a religious theocracy or anything that's governed by a religious ideal could be problematic. I mean, the fact is, I mean, Andrew knows this. Andrew's older than I am, right? Is that, like, the truth, I mean, this is a long video. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'll kind of address kind of what he's saying, is that, like, I grew up in the era of, like, the Bush administration, you had the Iraq War, and you had the Satanic Panic. I think the truth is that right-wing and left-wing people generally want to tell other people what to do. They do. They want to tell you what to do. It just depends on who wants to say what. And that's the main problem, is that you have two different groups of authoritarians that are vying for control, whether it's McCarthyism or then back over to hippies and then drugs and then back over to, you know, the 1980s, 90s and into the 2000s family values, now into, you know, again, you know, more of the, you know, trans for everybody, right? LGBT, et cetera, stuff. And now anything is okay and everything is racist, except for things that are, you know, happening to white people, which are okay. And now it's transitioning again. And now you're seeing people that are getting purity tested for being Jewish. Like, at the end of the day, we really need to accept that human beings just have this natural, like, people that seek power generally seek power because they want to use it as a weapon. They want to use this power as a weapon. It's a power paradox of what happens, where you have people that are going out and they spend all of their time trying to maintain a position of power. Why are they so motivated? They're so motivated because they're radical. They're radical and extreme, and they want to do that. So yes, correct. The only difference between them is how they deliver the control. Yes, I guess so. Continuing to misuse the word authoritarian is just going to legitimize people using it in a dumb way. Well, I guess I don't know. Like, what do you? I feel like authoritarian is like, let's look up the definition of authoritarian. Authoritarian meaning. Let's just look this up directly. Favoring or enforcing strict obedience to authority. Yeah, it's basically what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it, right? I mean, like, I don't know really what else to say. I mean, sure. So I need to see her response. Okay.
I just don't think that I've ever heard a compelling argument for how it would. And so I think that I would try to make for you, instead of logical appeals, I would just make a purely emotional appeal that, like, the world for you would actually be a much better place if there was more Christian nationalists like me and less Charlies with your worldview.
Well, I wouldn't be able to go to school if that was, you know, people's
women. Listen,
because again, it was indeed feminism that, you know.
Yeah, I've heard this argument a lot, but can I just point something out?
Sure.
That with this idea that women could be educated, right? And they, by the way, they basically always were able to. They flew around with elites all over the place, especially early feminists, and they went abroad to study and things like this. But what that became was women should get educated. And what that became was a lot of student debt and a massive fucking racket. And college is not about rewarding the best and the brightest, or not everybody could go. Okay? It's really right now, the degree that you have, an eighth grader 50 years ago knows more than you fucking know. Okay? About history, about math, about social sciences. An eighth grader 60 years ago knows more than you do right now. And it's
really
like,
what you think?
Yeah, not only do I
guaranteed they do, but the reason why is because they had a deeper knowledge in fewer subjects. So you learned a lot about like Roman history. You learned a lot about, like different types of European culture, but you didn't learn about, 50 other new things that, you're being taught nowadays. So yeah, it was less spread. So yeah, you had a deeper understanding on fewer topics. It's easy to understand.
I think that if I gave you a test
sure,
that an 8th grader would have 60 years ago, you would fail it with your college degree. And the reason for that,
I think also 8th graders would fail tests that they give 8th graders today too, because the curriculum is different. People are just being taught different things.
is because
and also another thing too is that back 50 years ago, and this is what I said before about how they should take the bottom 10% of kids out of schools that are stupid and then put them into work programs. And you should just probably start doing this at like 5th grade or so. And because there's just some people that are just stupid, right? It's like you have an ant in an anthill. Like not every ant is going to be the smart ant, right? There's going to be some ants that just bring the rocks from point A to point B, and that's it. And so the fact is that one of the big problems with American education is that it's curated to appeal to and to cater to the bottom 20% of educated people and people's intelligence. And really, if you create a education system that caters to the bottom 20% of intelligence, you're going to have a system that also does not engage the top half. And so that's the problem with, I think, the education system is that you have, and let me ask you a very simple question, right? When you were in school, if you removed the most annoying 5% of the students in that school, what percentage of the problems in the school would go away? The bottom 5%. 99%. Every single problem. There it is. There it is. Everybody knows that this is the problem. Everybody gets it. So I'm the only person that says, what about the other 95% of people that are trying to, or 80% of people that are trying to learn, trying to improve themselves, and not causing problems that have to live in a contrived system because we refuse to discipline the bottom 5%? Really, you think about it. Everybody else is being tyrannized. We have to go to Costco, or not Costco. We have to go to CVS or Walmart and ask to fucking talk to a manager to unlock a jewel case to buy underwear. What the fuck are we doing?
Any fucking education at school, you got a lot of student debt at school. Yeah, that's what you ended up with because it's become a giant racket. And if it was really about the best and the brightest, then not everybody could go.
Do you know what No Child Left Behind Act is? Yeah, I abused the fuck out of it because it said you could only get a 50 in a class, and so I would get a 90 in a class, and then I just wouldn't do anything for the next period, like the next grading period, and I'd get a 0, but it would have to get rounded up to a 50, and a 90 and a 70, or a 50 would average to a 70, and I'd pass the class. So I only really had to do half of the work I only had to do effectively 45% of the work in a class in order to pass the class, because of that system. And I just min-maxed the fuck out of it. Like, my dad would be furious. Like, I would get like a 93 in a class, and he's like, great job. And then I'd get a 53 the next fucking 6 weeks. He's like, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm going to pass anyway. It doesn't matter.
Oh. And maybe everyone shouldn't go because it's really for most of it, the stuff that you learn in high school,
1455,
right? Now, why is it that
crazy.
Every high school educated person I come across seemingly is just as intelligent as every college person I come across?
That's an interesting perspective. I haven't had a similar experience in my lifetime.
Yeah, well, it's because college education is highly specialized. So obviously, if you have a college education in neuroscience, you're not going to appear more educated in something like economics. Like, I mean, it's like such a simple answer. Like, why do they bring so many morons onto this?
And I don't. Like, you're biased towards elites, right? Elitism.
Yeah.
I do, I grew up in an educated household, but I was also primarily raised by a very conservative father who was also a doctor. So was my grandfather.
And was your conservative father a dummy?
No.
Then why was he conservative?
Because it benefits him personally.
So he was just immoral.
for pursuing his own ends, I don't know if I would say that.
Of course it is. Pursuing his own ends. That's the reason why people steal. How could
You're not sure
somebody
if your
say
own
this?
father was immoral or not? You're not.
No.
You're not quite sure.
No,
Like I could say easy, like because I remember I asked my dad, because my dad again, like you know, I mean you know the stories, and I said, well, you know, Pa, like one of the reasons why didn't you just steal stuff because like you didn't feel like it was fair, and that like they had it and you didn't have it, and like it wasn't like he's like no, he's like you didn't steal it because like you. No, I stole it because I wanted it. It was free. I wanted it, and yeah, that was the reason. Yep.
I mean, unlike all of us here,
That's
my
it.
dad is responsible for saving thousands of lives. He's put out a lot of good in this world.
And would
He
your
will-
father
he will
agree?
leave this earth
Mm-hmm.
with a clear conscience, no matter what his beliefs are. even as
Can
an
I ask you
atheist.
this? Would your father, who saved all these thousands of people, agree more with my worldview or yours?
Oh shit.
No. I think he would find your worldview strange.
That's not what I asked. I didn't ask if he would find it strange. I asked if he would agree with it more than yours.
Yeah, I wonder, right?
I don't know enough about your worldview, I think, to agree or disagree, but I think that he'd be...
How about his political alignment? Would his political alignment
Yeah.
line up more with mine or yours?
What is your alignment politically? Like, what do
far
you want
right-
the government to
far
to
right
look
wing?
like?
Yeah, far right wing conservative. You could say my political alignment would be something more akin
Yeah.
to limiting suffrage to people who getting it back towards what our founders had. Some other things would be like fiscal conservatism. I have a belief in that. I have a very strong dislike for socialism. Have a very strong dislike for communism. Have a very strong dislike for eliminating people's access to capital, which I know brings more people out of poverty than any other single system on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Like, would he agree more with that type of stuff? I have a strong preference against mass migration, and I think the government should be doing more about it. I think that we should lock up our southern border.
I
think
agree.
that we should do a lot more when it comes to deregulating gun control.
I
think
disagree with that. I think we should just put the crazy people in the crazy box.
like stuff like that. Would he
Yep.
be more in line with that?
I think that my dad is he skews libertarian more than anything. And I think
Well, libertarians are definitely going to like that more than your view.
I think your
Yeah, they
proposal
will.
to limit suffrage, I think would
Libertarians love that idea generally.
Based.
limiting access to voting,
Absolutely.
limiting people's
No.
individual freedoms.
Well,
and
wait a second.
powers.
That's not limiting their freedom. What it's doing is stopping
away the right to vote.
No, it's stopping you fuckers from collectivizing and becoming tyrants. And that's what you've done with the vote. You've collectivized and become fucking tyrants, a tyrant of the majority. A tyranny
God.
of the majority, a slight majority, and you become
Oh.
fucking tyrants, just like you were during
There it is.
COVID-19. That's not
Completely
you didn't
true.
free anybody. Who are you freeing with your fucking policies? Like,
What
how are
would
you making our
call
lives
the power
better?
that the executive branch has now? I mean, like the executive branch is the strongest it's been in ages. Like, what do you?
No,
think
it's
about
not. It
tyrants?
What do you
has
mean?
less power than it did under Jackson. Significantly
Okay,
less
I
power
said
than it did under
recently.
Jackson.
How could,
And
it, how could it have so much power if Trump keeps getting his stuff deleted? Yeah, I was looking for a photo. I can't find it. I was going to link a photo of some of the... A lot of the founding fathers also agreed with this, by the way, that they don't want to have a tyranny by the majority at all. And it's a huge issue.
By the way, can I
Recently.
just point this out, right?
So
When you're talking about
she's
Donald
about to
Trump,
crash
he has
out,
the same
right?
exact powers that the president Joe Biden had before him. The same ones. He doesn't have a single
Yeah.
additional power. Not a single
She
one.
getting ready to crash
What about the
out?
bullshit that the Supreme Court ruled that he cannot be held responsible for specific illegal acts that he committed?
Yeah, well, look, this was early understanding of case law with the president is that you're not going to be able to allow states to prosecute the president of the United States or else a state
Well,
who
they
is
should have just done that in the Civil War. If they could have just prosecuted Abraham Lincoln, this could have saved everybody a bunch of time, right?
upset.
Yeah.
No, it's not the
Well, fuck this. Like, what do you mean you're going to take away? No, we're going to put him in jail.
opposite. A
Yep.
state that's upset at the president could bring him in for bullshit, trumped up charges, and he's the federal executive. That would create a constitutional crisis. Literally overnight, it would create a constitutional crisis.
I mean, obviously.
We have diplomatic immunity for diplomats. They come in and commit a crime. We can't put them in jail. Even though they committed a crime, we can't put them in jail. They have diplomatic immunity. Our own president doesn't have immunity from state prosecution. Yeah, he kind of has to. Otherwise, California Governor Newsom right now, would bring him up on charges of treason if he could, and would try him in California under the state code if he could. He would do that.
Love that. I hope.
Which is exactly, see the girl saying this, this is what I've always said. Exactly what I've always said. Do it to them before they do it to you, because they will do it to you. That is my exact point. Always do it. Always destroy your enemies completely. If you leave anything left, they will recover, consolidate, and seek revenge. Every single time.
Okay, well then guess what? If that's the case, then why should the president have the ability to do that to Gavin Newsom?
He could. If he wanted to, I don't know, start a case against Gavin Newsom.
No, I'm saying, why does the federal authority not give him the purview to do that? For the same reason. To charge him on
a state level?
To charge him at a federal level. He can't just be like, oh, he committed treason and go charge him.
Yeah.
You can't have the state charging the executive branch. You can't have them doing that.
I think you can.
No, not only can you not, the Supreme Court even ruled you can't.
I think you should be able to. I think that's ridiculous. I think we need to be able to hold our leaders accountable and not put too much power in their hands, because I am against authoritarianism.
Okay, so
wait a minute. You're against authoritarianism, but you just thought it would be a good idea to put the president in jail? Oh, God. Okay, now okay, so you can tell now she's mad. Now she's actually mad.
Say California does that. They say, hey, we're going to go ahead and bring up Donald Trump and he needs to appear in court.
Here we go.
How does California enforce that?
They don't. That's how.
In this day and age, I don't know. That gets tricky. I wouldn't trust Donald Trump to.
Are they going to send California agents to arrest the president of the United States?
Yeah, how's this going to work?
We could send the National Guard and start a civil war.
The National Guard? You think about the word you just used. Oh, God.
Our National Guard, the California National Guard. But that would be treason.
So I'll try to rephrase this. I'm going to reframe, and I'm just going to be totally honest with you.
Okay.
I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know.
I want to see her crash out.
But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator.
This has been going on for a while.
Or I don't make good points, or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think honestly, you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What does that
You're
mean?
a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch.
What's
Shut your fucking
sniz?
mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did
daddies?
I just say? Dyke?
Your wife with the 3 baby
I'm sorry, Dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to...
Do the women that you try to...
show your hatred against...
Do the women that you try to...
them that they shouldn't...
Charlie, did I bring...
Women? Do they know
Charlie, did I bring your family?
5 years older?
Did I bring any of your...
He got so mad. I think that getting mad like this does make you look like an idiot. I think it does. I think it makes him look bad. Because you're now, bringing up, his wife or whatever, you did bring up her dad, and you're asking about her dad. I don't know. He's
family into anything?
Stupid.
Did I say anything about your family being stupid, Charlie?
You could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed, and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people on are bullshit, because you are not a traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional man.
Let's go through it, Chuck. Tell me what I'm doing which is immoral.
What you're doing which is immoral?
Yeah.
I think that you have been complicit in convincing young men that...
No, my family dynamic. What am I doing being
Oh,
married
he's
to my
getting
wife.
this is
immoral.
personal.
Then why? So then,
Yep.
Under my
so all
worldview,
you did.
that's perfectly
So wait,
acceptable.
Chuck. All you're doing is saying. So Chuck, shouldn't you actually be saying that Andrew? You're doing a good thing.
I'm
Hang on,
selling you
Charlie.
on
I just want to
my
make sure I got this
worldview?
right.
Uh-huh.
Am I doing a
Jesus.
good thing? Am I doing a
By
good thing?
what? Do you think your wife is a charity case?
By taking care of children who weren't mine? Was I doing a good thing? Whose fathers abandoned them? Was I doing a good thing?
Yeah, you're doing a good thing.
Oh, okay. Well then, Chuck, why did you use that as a form of personal attack on me? Even though you think I'm a good person doing a good thing.
I'm convincing you of my
Whenever you can make somebody mad in an argument, it looks like they lost. Whether they lost or not, it doesn't really matter. If you can make them mad, it's going to look like they lost.
worldview.
You're very convincing, Chuck.
Under my worldview,
I'm a good person.
you can marry your wife and no one would judge you. And you can raise the children that aren't yours and no one would judge you.
No, they would
But
still
under
judge me,
your-
Chuck.
Under your worldview,
Yeah.
that would not be so. Christian nationalists,
Yeah,
divorce
what about
isn't
it?
even acceptable.
Do you understand what Christianity is? Do you think
Yes,
that?
I was
do you
raised
think?
Christian. Were you?
Yeah, I was.
Protestant.
Yes, I
Oh,
was.
Of course. See, this is
You don't. I'm sorry.
because the Protestant spirit is still in you.
Oh,
Oh,
it is.
God.
It hasn't left, man.
Is the Catholic
Oh,
spirit
no.
still in you?
I wasn't raised Catholic.
Then what are you talking about?
I was raised
how-
Protestant.
Okay, you were raised Protestant.
So they were both
Yeah.
wrong.
So why would you fucking criticize me for
Because
that?
It's the thing that Protestants
Yeah, they're
do when
both
they
wrong.
convert
Okay.
to like Orthodox or Catholic is they get really into the idea of
Yeah.
Hey
like,
Chuck, can I ask you?
they get really into the idea of rules and
Chuck,
shit.
have you ever had an abortion?
No.
Never. Would you?
Yeah.
So you'd kill your own kids? Why am I going to take moral advice from you?
You don't have to.
I'm not
Why
going
would
to.
I take moral advice from you?
So you're trying.
I think that you
Yeah.
lie
So all
about
you.
your worldview.
Okay.
I
Which
think
part?
that you-
Which part am I
think
lying
that
about?
you-
Jesus Christ, I'm so sick of watching this. I'm going to be honest. This has just been going on forever. This is going to go on for like pretty much fucking forever. I'm so tired of this. I don't want to watch people argue. Like it's going in circles. Yes, it's just like I watched it for a while. It was compelling, but this is just going on and on and on. Like, what is this? I've got so much more that I want to do today. I just looked at the stream. I've been live for almost 2 hours. Like, I don't want to sit around and watch these two people argue with each other. I just wanted to watch that clip. It got a little bit longer, etc. Overall, crashing out if somebody brings up the fact that you're dating somebody that has kids with somebody else. Again, you're bringing up her dad. You're trying to weaponize her dad's ideology against her and in your favor. You should expect that she's going to bring up your wife. Like, again, that's fine. And also, I don't even really agree with her on most things. I agree with him on a lot of these things. But yeah, I'm sorry. It just doesn't look good at all. I don't know what to say. So yeah, that's it.